Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and we're continuing the lovely series all about equality cages today, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail. Now, one downside of this series is I'm constantly having to think of something to do with equality cages, and today is all about whispers. So the challenge is, how can I actually make this, mildly entertaining or some sort of light entertainment without constantly thinking about prisons? In this particular picture, you can see almost like the prison guards are like conspiring against the prisoners, having a chat. There you can see in the foreground, although that's not necessarily the best place to have a conversation that you don't want to be overheard, right outside of a prison cell. But that's my struggle. I think the puzzle itself I'm really looking forward to because it's about equality cages. And as you can probably guess from the word whispers, it is about German whispers. So let's take a look at the puzzle that we have for today. Now, I did need to shrink the font size quite a bit to be able to fit it all on the screen, both the title and the rule set. So Equality Cages 103, Whisper Time by gUBBLOR. And you can probably guess, or at least the regular viewers of the channels, that all these green lines are German whispers lines, which we'll talk about in a moment if you don't recognize what they mean. So, rule sets. First off, obvious one, normal Sudoku rule sets apply. So that means place the digits 1 to 9 in every row, such as this one, every column, and in every 3 by 3 box. Let's pick this one for a change. So digits 1 to 9, no repeats in each of these rows, columns, and boxes. Equality cages. This is something that we have featured on this series here. This is the third in them, and if I remember, I'm going to make sure that I link to the previous video up there. I would highly recommend that you tend to play them in series if you haven't already. In my experience, series tend to get harder, not easier. So you're better off starting with 101, not 103, if you haven't played it already. Nevertheless, equality cages, so cages must have an equal number of low, 1, 2, 3, 4, and high, 6, 7, 8, 9 digits. So imagine that this is a 1, then this digit must be high from 6, 7, 8, or 9. So that would be a valid pencil marking. Based on the fact that there is a low digit, there has to be a high digit. But not only is it 1 low and 1 high in this cage, we need to meet the second sentence's requirement, which is an equal number of even, as in 2, 4, 6, or 8, and odd digits, 1, 3, 7, or 9. Notice that in my list, equality cages can never contain 5, so they are not in there, and digits do not repeat. So if this is a 1, that's an odd digit and a low digit. We need now a high digit and an even digit. So this is from now restricted to 6 and 8. And you can see how powerful these equality cage constraints can be, particularly now that gUBBLOR has clarified that digits cannot repeat in cages. Moving on to the rule sets, we've got Kropki dots. So a black dot between cells indicates cells with values in a 2 to 1 ratio. So let's imagine for a second that this is a 2. Because there is a black dot connecting this cell to this cell, then this is going to be from 1 or 4. 2 to 1 ratio. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, continuing our example with 2, here is another 2 that's connected with a white dot between it and the other cell. And white dots indicate that the cells are consecutive, so essentially 1 apart. So that would be a 1 again. 1 plus 1 is 2, or 2 plus 1 is 3. So these would be valid pencil marks for Kropki dots. We also have X adjacent cells connected with an X must sum to 10. So I'm actually just remove that pencil marking. So if this was 1 or 4 as we had earlier, then this would have to be, if this is a 1, this would have to be a 9 to make sure these two cells add up to 10. If that was a 4, this would have to be a 6 to make sure these two cells add up to a 10. Last rule we have is the German whispers. So adjacent digits along each German whisper line must have a difference of at least 5. Now in my example earlier I had 1 and 3 in here. Let's say it's a 3. Now, adjacent means on the line, not obviously orthogonally connected cells that have nothing to do with the line. So in this particular case, that's at a diagonal, but it's still adjacent to the 3. Now, these 2 digits that are now adjacent to this 3 must be at least 5 apart from the 3. So if you add 5 to a 3, you'll get 8. That's a minimum of 8, and because we've got 2 of them, it's 8 or 9. And you can see how very powerful this can be, because something as restrictive as a 3 forces your hand in terms of the digits that you are available to. Note in German whispers line, you can't have a 5. I think if I put a 5 in here and you try and put something that is 5 or more away, you're going to really struggle, at least under normal Sudoku rules. So that's all the rules we have for today. Plenty of them. Good luck. And if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below as usual. Please don't conspire with the guards with whispering in corners like that. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get on. So I said this when I was playing 102. Something that I have done previously is forget about 5s. And if you look at the grid, because 5s can't be on German whispers, can't be in cages, that's part of the rules. Just look at how restricted the 5 is. But not only that, 5 can never be on a black Kropki dot. If you try and put a 5 on a black Kropki dot, this is either going to be 2.5, can't even pencil mark that, or 10, can't pencil mark that either. So clearly a 5, at least in normal Sudoku, can never be on a black Kropki dot. Can never be on an X either. So if I put a 5 on this X, I'd need a second 5 in the same box to get to 10. So it's almost tempting to basically color the grid with where 5s cannot be, but I've already spotted where some of the 5s can be, such as in box 9. Can't be on German whispers, can't be on black Kropki dots, can't be in cages. This is the only place a 5 can be. This is the only place a 5 can be now in box 7. Again, cages, German whispers. This cell is now eliminated because of this 5 under normal Sudoku rules. That's the other 5. We've got kind of a weird looking 5 in here. And 5s are only in there in box 1. Removing this 5, that's another 5. One of these is a 5. That's not very interesting. Actually, here's box 2. That is interesting. In fact, yeah, it could be in any of these, giving us this cell here, which is, and obviously because we've restricted in box 2 the 5s to the second column, it's none of these. That's the other 5. There you go. That's box 6 now. That's these 2 5s, eliminating all of these. This 5, eliminating this cell. It was eliminated anyway because it was an equality cage, not this German whispers line. That's a 5. We're nearly done here. That's 5 in box 3. And box 1. And all the 5s are now done. Now the hard bit, I think, is going to start now. So if you've not seen me do this before, something that I almost always do with German whispers lines is, because you have to think about the way that it's constructed. They oscillate between low and high digits. So if this digit was low, let's say it was purple, this digit would be high, it is orange. But then we're back down to purple, then back up to orange, back down to purple, orange, purple. And it's helpful because now you can see we've placed 4 purples. I don't know if purples are low or high, but I've placed all 4 of them. So the last one in here is orange. Let's see if that's helpful. I'm sure it is. 3 purples means, because again it oscillates, and I need 2 that are the same color. So this is going to be the orange. That's the purple. Purple. Purples. Is that correct? Looks like it, yeah. And these are oranges. I've got 4 of them already in box 7. So that's purples as well. What do I have in here? 2 oranges, because I already placed all 4 purples. That's orange. 4 oranges here done. That's purple. There's kind of like a flash in here. Not sure I'm going to bother with these just yet, just in case I can actually color the entire grid, which would be very helpful. What else can I do? Slightly less obvious as I go up the grid. Let's give it a go anyway. So these 2, I'm going to use a different color now. I'm going to go with yellow and green. It's not hugely helpful. Am I going to have to use a 3rd color set? I really don't want to, but it seems like I may have to. I'm temporarily going to use blues and reds. So I'm stressing temporary. Let's see if I can spot anything. Yeah, I can. So column 4, notice the white Kropki dot. And I'm thinking this is quite an important dot for many reasons. Let's start with this for now. So this could either be, if this is low, this is either a 5 or another low digit. But because we've already placed the 5s in the box, in the column, in the row, this has to be the same parity. Parity? Polarity. So this is also yellow. Now, if we take a look at column 4 in aggregate, we've got 3 yellows. Clearly, they're not purple, otherwise we're going to end up with 5 of them. So yellow is orange, green is purple. We've got now 4 oranges in here. Yeah, so that's purple. That's 2 oranges. Same thing now in column 3, now that we've got 3 purples. Can't be the reddest purple because that would give us 5. So red is orange, and therefore blue is purple. We know what this is. That's the last one in the column. It's another purple. We've done all the purples in box 1. These 2 are orange. We've got 3 oranges and only 1 purple. And actually, well, 2, because I can do column 2 for sure. Now, I think what's interesting in here is I know what this cell is. Because I've got a 10, and a 10 needs to be made up of 1 low digit, let's say it's purple, and 1 high digit. What's more important is I've used all 4 oranges now. So that's definitely purple. Don't know the order here, so I'm going to remove the flash, but that's another one that's colored. Let's see if I can finish this entirely now. At least I'll give the German Whispers line a go next. So these are all the same polarity. And yep, we can already see there are 3 in the same column. Can't be purple because that would make it 5. That's orange. That's purple. I just want to double check I made that correctly. Orange, purple, orange, purple, orange, purple, orange. That's correct. That's 4 oranges in column 7. That's purple as well. Don't know what these are. I know this is orange because I've got 3 in row 4. One of them has to be purple in this gauge. One of them has to be orange. So I've used all my 4 purples. This is orange. And I can do kind of a more obvious one here in row 2. I've got 4 oranges. These 2 are just purple. And at least for now, it feels like I've run into a bit of a dead end. So let's start thinking about actually placing some more digits, because we haven't really placed any since minute 3, and it's been 5 minutes of just coloring the grid. So let's think about, and I'm going to focus really on German Whispers, and I'm going to focus on 4s and 6s. And the reason I'm picking these 2 is let me pick this yellow, for example. This can neither be, sorry, this orange. This cell can neither be 4 nor 6. Now, if it was a 4, both of these digits would have to be 9. 4 plus 5 gives us a 9. These two adjacent cells to this 4 would have to be 9. Same is true with 6. Both of these would have to be 1 because that's the only digit that's 5 or more away from 6. Now, if I look for where can the 4s and 6s be on German whispers line, I'm really tempted by box 9 because I think 4s and 6s can be in none of these, because that's connected to 2 cells, that's connected to 2 cells, these are clearly connected to 2 cells, that's 2 cells, that's 2 cells. So none of these are 4 and 6, leaving me just one orange that is 4 or 6. And, you know, you obviously need at least one orange that's 4 and 6 and one purple that's 4 or 6, because I don't know for the moment which one is low or high. All I know is the 4 will be in one color and the 6 will be in the other color. So 4, and notice this black Kropki dot is a different color. So if that's 4, that's 8. If that's 6, that's 3. It's got to be something that is of a different polarity. Now, the purple 4, 6 could have been this cell, but it's not this, it's not this. It's now this one. On a German whispers line, this has to be the 1 or 9. If it's a 6, that's the 1. If that's the 4, this is the 9. I'm going to now assume for a second, just for my sanity, that this was a 6, forcing this to be a 1. Now, if I think about the next most restricted digit, the 7, I can't now place that here, because the 7 can only be connected to 1 or 2, and I've already placed the 1. And the 4, these would be 2 or 3, I would break the puzzle. So this has to be the 7, this would have to be the 2. I've already placed the 8, this would be the 9, and this would be the 3, because I've already placed 1, 2, and 4. Now the reverse of this would be 4 and 9. Now the next most restrictive digit, if that was a 4, would be here, the 3. And the 3 can only be adjacent to an 8 or 9. I've already placed the 9, so that would be the 8. Now if I think about the 2, because that would need to be placed next to a 7, can't be placed next to a 6. I've already placed a 6 actually. So the 2 could actually be in, that was an 8, so I can put the 2 in either of these. So it becomes 1, 2 with a 7. I mean, this one's the 7 for sure, because I placed all the other high digits. I don't think that's true. I think it's a 2, 1. And I'll explain why by thinking about the requirements of a cage. We need to have an equal number of odds and evens. So if that's the 7, and that's the 9, I've placed 2 odd digits. I now need 2 even digits, which is the 4 and the 2, and now I have to place the 1 in here. So as incredible as that sounds, we've ended up with 1 9 pairs, 2 7 pairs, 4 6 pairs, 3 8 pairs. And we can probably work through something very similar through the rest of it. So this 4 6 is not here, can't be there because that would require 2 9s. That's a 4 6. That's got to be the 4 6 to make a 10. These two have to be the 1 9s because a 4 6 has to be connected to a 1 9 on a German whispers line. This 1 9, nope, nope, don't know what this is yet. I'm sure I can do better. Can I do better? Right, maybe a better question, rather than trying to fill all of these in, how about I think about where this 4, 6 goes in column 4? So I know, so I think it can be here. No, it can't be, because that's not a 1 or 9. So it's not here. It's not there, because we talked about this earlier. If that was 4 or 6, these two would both be 9s or 1s. So that's not another 4, 6. Technically, that could be another 4, 6. Technically. And then the other place I could have it would be here. So it's not that. Can't have 4 or 6 here. Can't have 4 or 6 here. There's a 4 or 6 in here. There you go. Yeah. 9 of these are 4 or 6 in orange. That one because it's 2 1 9s duplicated in box 1. So the orange 4 6 is in here. These have to be 10. So this is kind of one of each. Now this I can't assume is a 3 8 because there's the danger that this is purple, and I could certainly do 4 2. It doesn't have to be a different color. I know what this cell is though. That's 3 8. That can't be 4 6. That could be. One of these is 4 6. This can be. Let's have a think about 4 6s in this column and in orange. So this could be, this could be, this can't be. So one of these is 4 or 6, making this a 1 9. This is anything. I mean, as loath as I am to do this, I may have to actually start pencil marking these a bit more. And in general, if I have a think around, how am I actually going to disambiguate what's high and low? Because really nothing in the grid, other than this setup and this white Kropki dot, forces me to have a think about what's high or low. So that's kind of, I almost want to resolve these first somehow to actually just unwind it all. How am I going to do that? Sorry, I've gone very quiet for a second, just thinking. I mean, thinking is a bit of a stretch, if I'm honest. More like struggling. That's 3 8, 8. Because, you know, that 3 8 is clearly not in here. That's the only place left for it. This is, well, this 4 6 can only be in here now. This is 2 7 and 1 9. This really doesn't feel like on the right path, if I'm honest. I need a 2 7 and a 3 8. 3 8 can't be in here, can it? I think it can be. 3 can be next to an 8. 8 can be next to a 3. And this could be 3 8 as well, providing that this is not 7 if that was a 3. So this is getting fairly tricky. I kind of need... one way of doing this is obviously just forcing this. I can just do a whole bunch of pencil marking until I see what's going to be obviously breaking. I'm just trying to avoid the tedious work here by just spotting what I should be looking for. Here is something. Here is something. I've already got all 4 purple digits. One of these in the column has to be 3, 8. It's not this cell. I've already placed it. It's not this cell. I've already placed it. The 3, 8 is in here, forcing this to be a 2. I don't know if that was sort of obvious, but 3, 8s, eliminating 3, 8s from these two. 3, 8 has to be in here. It's got to be somewhere. Making this not a 3, 8, because I've already placed it in one of these 2 cells. That's a 2. That's a 4. That's a 6. And we know the polarity, thankfully. There we go. So purples are blue, as in low. Oranges are red, as in high. And wow, we're almost 20 minutes in before we can place a whole bunch more digits, but there we go. 3, 6, 8, 7, 9, 6, 4, 3, 4, 9, 1, 3. This is now 7 or 8. And yeah, can't tell which one is which. 3 or 4, more importantly, if this is a 4, I don't know how I didn't spot this earlier, that this has to be the 1, 9, that's the 9. Got a 6 in here with a 7 and 8, I'll just leave it as 6. Got a 7, 8 with a 2 in here, I'll just leave it as 2. 1, 3 pair, 6, 9, that's the 9. 7, 8. That's, oh, that 1, 2 is resolved. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. It is next to a 9, that's absolutely fine. I need in here 4, 1, 2, and 4. Now, if this can't be 1, this can't be 2. It needs to be something that can actually join a different polarity on a black Kropki. So that's the 4 and 8. Neither of these are 4s. 8 is now in here. Not very helpful. This is 6, 7. Can't have a 6 joining a 1 and 2. That's 7, that's 6. That's a 1, 2 pair. What do I have left in here? 2 and 3. Can't have a 3 next to a 7, 8. So that's 2, that's 3. Just because, you know, I know that there is an odd digit. If I knew what parity this one is, I'd know what these 2 cells are, but I don't yet. And the 9s and 7s are not necessarily forcing any direction on this. So I'm going to have to keep going before I can actually fully resolve this. So there is a 7 or 8 in here. That's 7 or 8. So I need to place 2 and 4. That's the 4. Can't be a 2. 4, 2. That's the 1. There's a 9 between... No, excuse me. There's a 6 between these 2 cells. That was forced. Because, yeah, I can't place a 6 in here. This is 7 or 9. 7 would force a 1, 2 pair, which is possible, unfortunately, still. Where does 4 go in row 2? It's not in there. That's the only place that's left. This is 1 or 2. Where does 3 go? I think I need more colors now. That's kind of the challenge. What can I do? What are some of the obvious things I can fill in? That can't be 4. That can't be 4. This is a 1, 2 pair. This isn't 6. It's not 7, 8. That's a 9. That's a 7. Meaning these are 6 and 4. That can't be the 4. That's the 6. That's the 4. I think that's almost all the 4s done now. That's the last one. That's not the 6 anymore, that's the 6, that's the 7 or 8. That's not the 2 either, that's the 2, that's the other 7 or 8. Can't believe that I'm not resolving these 7, 8s. What am I waiting for? So, there, I have a 3 in here, meaning I need an even digit. It's got to be the 8. And the 3 goes here, because of this 3. That's the 3, that's the 8, that's the 7. 1 is not there. 1 is in here. So what high digit is this? It is 7 or 9. We've got 9 in the column. That's a 7. That's an 8. That's a 7, 8, 7. Actually, I could have resolved this because of this 3. That couldn't have been a 7. Never mind. We need an 8 in this box. Can only be in here. I need a 6. Can only be in there. 2 evens gives me, excuse me, 2 odds. So that's a 2. That's now 7 or 9. I know the order because of, well, this 9 or this 7. Haven't resolved these. I'm sure when I place the 6 I'll figure that out. Have I resolved these? Nope. And here is a 1 or 9. And there is a 6 or 9. Still not resolved. I need a 1, which is in here. A 3, which is in there. A 9. This is not helpful. Right, let's do a bit of coloring, I think. Can I color? Come on, Sleuth, you've nearly done this. I've got the 7, that's the 8, that's the 7. That can't be a 3 anymore because it's got a 7 on here. That was resolved ages ago. Whoops. 6, 9, which unfortunately doesn't force a 1 in here. Never mind. We do know what this cell is though. That's a 3. That's 2 odd digits and 2 low digits. That's got to be a high even digit. Unbelievably not resolved. 6 or 8. In fact, that is resolved. That's 1, that's 2. Don't know why I missed that. That's a 6 or 8, but it's an 8 because that's a 6. 6, not 3. So 1, 3. I am going to stay on top of my coloring. I've done all the... Have I colored everything? No. That is everything colored now. Right, 8 and 9. 8, and if I've not made any mistakes, 9 and the solution to today's puzzle. What a stunning puzzle, gUBBLOR. I cannot believe that these series are your first puzzles. I don't mean that in a negative way. They're just incredible puzzles and you're creating just masterpieces one after the other. And here is one that is, yeah, I found this more challenging, but I think that's probably down to me kind of being very late to spot a lot of Sudokus. Now, I imagine if I had hints enabled or I was a bit more awake, I would have actually probably solved this a little bit quicker, maybe 5 or 10 minutes quicker, but what a phenomenal puzzle. Well, I'm glad that you guys have said let's continue with the series because I'm really enjoying them. And hope that you enjoyed today's video and today's puzzle. And I'll see you back in the next one. Bye for now.